That's right, guys. I will be at Pittsburgh this Saturday for their first road game of the season. Hello and welcome back to the Daily Iowan TV Sports Pregame Show. I'm Chelsea Brown.
And I'm Jalen Sochek. On this evening on the program, we take a look inside the numbers with the matchup of Iowa versus Pitt, and we'll hear from defensive lineman Carl Davis.
But first on the program, we take a look at a spot on the offense that has stayed relatively quiet.
That's right, Chelsea. Iowa fans have yet to see a lot of action deep down in the field offensively, and it's not that the team isn't capable. They have several weapons in veteran receiver Cavante Martin-Manley and newcomer Derek Willies. But I took a look at another one of those receivers that the Iowa offense has yet to take full advantage of. As the offense struggles to find their rhythm, one Hawkeye is anxious to make a bigger name for himself. Senior wide receiver Damon Powell.
Just, whenever my number's called, I have to make a play. And whenever I touch the ball, I feel like I just want to score.
Powell's coming off the 2013 season of 13 receptions that averaged over 24 yards a catch with 2 touchdowns. So far in the 2014 season, he's only caught the ball 3 times for a total of 42 yards, while grabbing his first and only touchdown against UNI on August 30th.
DP, as you remember, just got here last. He's been here for a year, basically. He missed the entire preseason with a hernia surgery. So, he's working his way back in. And, we love the guy. He's a really talented player, a high-energy guy. But, we'll work him in.
Powell was a late junior college transfer from Snow College back in the 2013 season, only arriving on campus just 3 days before camp started.
I got here last year, and basically I'm a sophomore, but I'm a senior. And, I'm comfortable, but at the same time, I just got here.
And the senior is confident that when the ball starts coming his way, it'll pay off.
I feel like my speed can help this offense, and it has in the past, and it will continue when we continue the season.
Explosively, Iowa just isn't there. They rank 123rd of 127 teams in the nation in 20-plus yard plays at only 5. And hopefully Iowa will be able to capitalize on some of that this weekend.
And speaking of this weekend, Jalen, Iowa faces Pittsburgh for the 5th time in school history, and I took a look at how these two teams match up. Saturday marks the final non-conference game for the Hawkeyes, and it couldn't come down to a more strength versus strength matchup. Pittsburgh, currently undefeated with a record of 3-0, will take on the 2-1 Hawkeyes at Heinz Field. Pittsburgh currently averages around 344 rushing yards per game, and their sophomore running back, James Conner, counts for a number of these yards. Conner currently has 81 carries for 544 yards, earning him a total of 8 touchdowns.
Pitt has not had to throw the ball. They're not throwing for much right now. There's a reason they haven't had to, but they can throw the ball. But one thing for sure, they've demonstrated they can run it, and they've run it against just about everybody.
But Iowa's defense brings the heat right back to the Panthers, averaging only 65.7 rushing yards a game, ranking 6th in the FBS, and not allowing a rushing touchdown all season. They also have kept the rush game under control these last 3 games, not allowing a single 100-yard rusher. Now, due to a targeting call, Anthony Gare will make his first start at Pittsburgh, filling in for free safety Jordan Lomax. Iowa's defense holding their ground, but the Hawkeyes still can't find the consistency behind the offense.
Sometimes we have 10 guys doing the right things, or 8 guys doing the right things, and it takes 11 guys, to get the job done.
History dates these two teams back to having tight wins over one another. Since 2008, Iowa and Pittsburgh have played twice, each team walking away with a home field victory. In 2008, it was the Panthers that held on to the 21-20 victory at Heinz Field. But in 2011, Iowa overcame a 24-3 third-quarter shortage and responded with 3 more touchdowns to take the win out of Pitt's hands and end with a 31-27 victory. Iowa has never won a game at Pitt in school history, but given the former accounts between these two teams, it'll all come down to the final seconds.
It'll be a good challenge for us. We'll get a good measuring stick to see if we can stop the best runners.
And the middleman of this defensive strength battle is defensive lineman Carl Davis. I got a chance to catch up with him earlier this week. Take a look. Thanks, guys, and I'm here with defensive lineman Carl Davis. Now, Carl, talking about Pitt this weekend, they average over 300 rushing yards a game, but Iowa hasn't allowed a rushing touchdown this season. Kind of a strength versus strength battle. How do you guys prepare for that this weekend?
Just playing physical up front, getting the game plan in, and just playing Iowa defense, which is physical and everybody game tackling, get to the ball.
And you saw action our last meeting in 2011 against the incredible win, the record, Iowa record, largest comeback ever. What was that feeling like leaving the field from that game?
That was a great feeling. One of my roommates, he had a good game, Cavante, that brought us back, and that was an incredible feeling.
And on the road for the first time, over 600 miles, but a little less than where home is for you. And how are you preparing for that long trip?
I'm just planning on sleeping on the plane, maybe reading a book. I mean, we didn't have trips before, probably a little bit longer than that, so I'm sure it won't be a problem.
All right, well, thanks, Carl, and back to you guys. Although Saturday will be only the sixth time Iowa and Pitt have met, Ferentz' history with the Panthers goes past that.
For our Throwback Thursday, we bring you Kirk's long history with Pitt.
In 1980, Ferentz spent his time as a graduate assistant for the University of Pittsburgh. Under head coach Jackie Sherrill, Pittsburgh went on to finish the season with 11-1 and ranked second nationally.
After that year, Ferentz noticed that then head coach Hayden Fry was looking for an offensive line coach. Ferentz decided to take the chance and get an interview.
Yeah, my only intent was just to interview, so I knew how to interview. So when I had to go look for a job the next year, I'd have some clue what I was doing. That was the only reason I wanted to come out here.
Kirk said out of the blue he was hired, and the rest was history.
I just came out here and, had no idea how good a place this was and what kind of people were here. So that's how it all happened. But it wasn't like it was some master plan or my goal is to stay at Pitt for another year. I was having the time of my life working with Joe Moore.
Ferentz went on to coach under Fry until 1989 when he accepted his first head coaching job at Maine. He jumped around jobs until he returned to Iowa to take Fry's place in 1999.
Now, kind of a neat story, Jalen, and definitely a blast for the past for Kirk Ferentz. But that'll do it for us here in the sports studio tonight. Be sure to tune in every Thursday night for our weekly football pregame show.
And don't forget to pick up a print copy of pregame in tomorrow's edition of the Daily Iowan.
And you can get all your updates during Saturday's game on our blog at dailyiowansports.com, as we'll be bringing you live updates, this time from Heinz Field.
Michelle and Nick, back to you at the desk.